Welcome to the Jaron Jarvis channel. I am Jaron Jarvis. Today, I would like to introduce to you, I killed the devil at a bar in Las Vegas. It was July, 1997 when my wife took my kids and left to another state. I have been planning a trip to Sin City for over 4 months then, a vacation away from the never-ending stress of our lives. I like to think if maybe, just maybe I took the vacation earlier she wouldn't have left. I made up convoluted excuses on the midnight ride through Nevada's unending terrain of desert. It wasn't my fault. See, I took a cab home. Yes, she should have known I was drunk. She should have known to leave me alone. How the picture frame hit her left shoulder. I'm not sure, quite frankly. I don't think the picture frame was on my nightstand. Though, I don't suppose she just did it herself. I had entered Las Vegas on July 25, 1997. It was late. I didn't bring much luggage with me. My wife wasn't an hour out the door when I had already put together 2 outfits for the trip. I packed a toothbrush, though I didn't see myself ever using it. I packed my Bren 10. My brother purchased one in 1983, and when I had got my license he gave it to me. I had used it ever since. I stopped my car in the front of a motel, and went through my belongings. Not much cash, but enough for at least a drink or two. I put my bags in the trunk, and locked the car. I slid my pistol into my pocket. I found myself in a fireworks show of neon signs and flashing lights. Everything telling me where to go and what to do, a shrine to American persuasion. I continued walking down the Las Vegas Strip, when I came across something that oddly stood out, a bar. A wooden sign hood over a dark door, the walls had no windows. The bar reads 7 Deadly Sins. I pushed open the door, and it creaked so loudly and slowly it made the rushing traffic and bustling conversation turn into an eerie silence. I stepped in, and it took a couple seconds for my eyes to adjust to the dark mood of the lighting. An overweight woman stood at the bar in the left corner, the rest of the bar were just tables. The only other person besides me and the bartender was a skinny man at the end of one of the tables. I sat down at the bar, and ordered a drink. I ordered a glass of Budweiser, something I always ordered. It was delicious, by far the best Budweiser I had ever had in my entire life, but before I could order another one, the man spoke up. "Who are you here with?" the man asked. "No one, and that's none of your business to ask," I said back. I was a little agitated by the nosy question. "I sincerely apologize, I was only asking to see if you were expecting company. I was going to ask if you'd like to sit, no one should drink alone." I asked the waitress to bring me another Budweiser, and sat down at the table with the man. "Lucy, you can go home now," the man said, and the overweight waitress walked through the front door, and wasn't seen again. "Hey! What was that? Are you the manager or something?" I asked. "I'm Satan," he said, and took a sip of his liquor. "Nice to meet you, Satan, I'm Jesus." "Looks like we have a bit of an issue here," I remarked sarcastically, but he didn't laugh. "I'm Satan, and I'll prove that I'm Satan." What a lunatic, I thought. Of course, I should have expected something like this. A city built on the premise of what happens in Las Vegas, stays in Las Vegas should have 1 or 2 cokeheads, at the minimum. I took another sip of my drink as I expected him to prove his demonic powers, and the look on his eyes started to give me a feeling of chills. I never truly looked at his face. His eyes were red, face pale. He was wearing a black hoodie, I couldn't even tell if he was bald or not. Maybe this man wasn't lying, maybe this man was the devil. Trickle, trickle, trickle. Water was pouring from somewhere. I looked up, to see nothing. "The tears from your oath." Water poured from under the door and began filling the room with dark liquid. "What is this? What the hell are you doing?" I leapt from my chair and rushed to the door. I tried the doorknob to no avail. I pounded on the screen till my fists were bloody. The water was up to my chest now. I was floating up to the ceiling. I struggled and grabbed onto anything I could to keep me down. It was too late, I grabbed at my throat as water poured down. I turned to look at the devil, and he sat there, watching me. Your first punishment. I was back in my chair again. The bar was no longer flooded. You have committed 3 of the 7 deadly sins. You're confused. You have the wrong guy. I haven't done anything wrong, please, I haven't done anything wrong. He looked at me with a disappointed face, his solemn eyes staring back into mine. You haven't used your greed to spend money on multiple hotel rooms, where you satisfied your lustrous behaviors with your boss's wife, and then came home. Dare anyone speak to you, or they feel you're off. It was only a matter of time before your own wife figured it out. All of that was true, all of it. I know. I broke into tears. Get a hold of yourself, I thought. Please, I'll fix it, I'll make it better. It was too late. The door opened and multiple women walked in. They wore something you'd find on a Las Vegas stripper who just got told she might get a raise. They flocked over to me, 10 or 15 women. I found myself being gripped at. It felt almost wonderful. Their soft hands on my skin, this punishment almost seemed like reward. Till I felt the pinch of skin breaking, and blood dripped from my wrist. Ouch. Another one. The nails of the women were as sharp as talons now, every touch they broke through again. I exhaled in pain and pushed them away from the table, but I fell on my back and found myself being preyed on. Their claws ripped and tore through my skin, each one more painful than the last. I screamed in horror and pain, begging for it to stop. You have one more. No. This can't be, please stop this, I thought to myself. If Satan existed, surely God did as well. God, please. Please get me out of this, please show mercy. God won't help you here. Bye. Bye here. Bye. In front of me was a vendor booth, and a man stood inside of it with a bright smile on his face. On the table of the booth, 2 bottles of olive oil. One was cheap, it looked chunky and gross. The other was expensive, it looked rich in taste and delicious. I knew this was a test of my greed, but the second olive oil beamed with temptation. I reached into my pocket, and handed the man my cash, and pointed at the second bottle. My mouth watered in anticipation, but something was burning. I sniffed the air. Ah! I screamed in pain as scalding oil began engulfing my body. I could feel my flesh folding into itself, turning into ash and peeling off my body. I raised my hand to face, and I could see a sliver of my bone through the oil. It's over now, the devil said. Your punishment has ended, but tragically, you can't return to your normal life. Get anger rose through my body. You have 2 choices, you can go to purgatory, where you will wait for God to decide your next fate. He paused, and smiled. You can remain here, and serve the remainder of your sins, whether deadly or not, and then you can return home. I chuckled. Oh boy, did I laugh. I reached my hand into my pocket, lifted by Brent and abode the table, and shot the devil clean in the head. He fell back from his chair, blood gushed from his open wound. My mixed emotions of joy and fear ended with something inside me. Like a thought, but not my own thought. A thought someone purposely put into my head. When I killed the devil on July 25, 1997, I did not truly end evil. I am the devil now. If you're reading this, know now, that you have a date set for your executions. I'll be in Las Vegas, waiting.